BJ Penn needs Dana White or Lorenzo Fertitta or any of his sponsors in the past to save him. It's looking sad, man. It's looking real sad for BJ Penn. So, let's just get right into it. BJ just posted a video, and it's not looking good, man. He's like 200 yards down the road from his family home, and he's staying in a little studio, this little shack right here. Now, he also posted this, which I guess we can read before I read you a quote, and then we watch the video. Power isn't how much you can hurt someone. Power is how much you can help someone. I didn't start this fight. This is an army of thieves, and they are here to steal everything I worked for. If I ever made anyone money like the UFC, UFC gyms, Vruka, PM Tenore, or did anything kind or helpful for anyone that has the power to make a difference, I would appreciate your help with this robbery that is taking place in Hilo, Hawaii. They are trying to make attempts on my life, and they are trying to provoke me to attack some of them, but if I take the bait and I touch one of them, I will go to jail and lose everything. I didn't know who else to ask, so I figure I ask any of the business partners that we had good business relationships with to give me help against this army of thieves. So, before we watch the video, I'll just put this out here real quick. BJ went ahead and said this. This is one of the biggest quotes in the video. No one's here to help me. They got me staying in this studio right over here. They want me to do my laundry at the laundromat, and I'm the world champion. I'm the one who went out there and took the punches, took the blows, and here we are, getting pushed out of everything. About to have everything stolen from us. All the money I made from the UFC, UFC gyms, all my sponsors, all invested back into my family. Every dollar I made, invested back in. I'm about to get it all taken from me, and I need your guys' help. Dana White, Lorenzo Fertitta, Pat Tenore, come down this time and help me this time, please. Now, just to give a little context to that last sentence right there, Pat Tenore was just at the UFC gym in, I believe, Hilo, that BJ owns, and he brought John Jones, and they did like a little seminar there. There was a photo that I posted, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw, and I think that little last sentence there is kind of telling. Come down this time and help this time, please, because they came down. I don't know how much help BJ got, how much they even asked about it, if they're trying to stay out of his business. I don't know these things, but that's kind of telling right there. So let's go ahead and let's watch the video.
This message is for Dana White and Lorenzo Fertitta. I need your guys' help. I've been pushed out. This is the house I grew up in, lived here my whole life. Fought in the UFC, became a world champion and all that stuff. And Mark Mashtroff, UFC gyms. I know we do really well to help promote the UFC gym companies. And just, that's it. That's the house right there. Show them again, the house I grew up with. I'm kicked out of the house. An army moved into all of these houses. I need your guys' help. They got me staying over here in this studio. Right here. If I go anywhere near the house up there, I try to get my dogs, get whatever I can, I'll be arrested. They got me over here staying in this studio. And just think about it. No one's here to help me. And, you know, if any of my sponsors out there that, you know, I stayed extra long or I did anything, you know, because I always know if I was going to do a signing, I never leave early. I always stay, even if I got to stay longer. But they got me staying in this studio right over here. They want me to do my laundry at the laundromat. And I'm the world champion. I'm the one who went out there and took the punches, took the blows. And here we are, getting pushed out of everything, about to have everything stolen from us. All the money I made from the UFC gyms, all my sponsors, all invested back into my family, into everything. Every dollar I made invested back in. I'm about to get it all taken from me. And I need your guys' help. Dana White, Lorenzo Fertitta, Pat Tenori, come down this time and help this time, please. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
Now, nothing fires me up more than things like this. Really. I have so many initial reactions that I feel need to be shared. So let me just try. I tried to kind of keep a mental note of everything. First of all, look at this house that they've got him in, man. Look at this thing. You know? This little thing. He's in a little studio. Like he said, the champ. This is actually kind of like low-key kind of crazy. 200 yards down from the street from the house. I'm going to respond to some of these comments, but let me get through some of my initial reaction here. But what up, that's an interesting name. What up, AIDS? What up? Now, to the comments point, saying, you know, how can one convince BJ he's got Capgras syndrome? It's gone way too far. Look at BJ in this video. Now, I'm the first to admit, he's looked real, I don't want to say methed out. I'll use that word lightly. But really, I'll use the word, he's looked really tired in some pictures. He's looked really tired in that picture with John Jones at the UFC gym about 4 months ago. Here he looks pretty clear-eyed. He's talking well. I've seen other times where he is a little bit more rambly. I'm trying to keep it a buck here. You know, I'm not really on any side. I've been trying to figure this out for months, what side to fall on. But reacting to this video right here today, you know, he's speaking clearly, like I said. I don't know what to make of it necessarily. Obviously, with this video isolated, I feel for BJ, but I've been watching all this stuff unfold over the past few months, and there have been some times where I question BJ. You know, I thought it was weird how they arrested him in his home. I do see how his mom is yelling at him. And, you know, if anything, I've seen more aggression from his mother than I have from him. As far as what's been released, you know, there is one where she's screaming in his face outside in their car. Apparently, she alleges he stole mail from her. She's screaming in his face, telling him to hit her. Hit her. I don't take that stuff lightly. You know, she hasn't really been held accountable for things like that or answered for it. BJ saying he invested everything from his family, or everything from his fighting career, into his family. It's kind of obvious that's what happened here if he doesn't have his independent finances. You know, the Penns do something weird. BJ's got this thing he's spoke about in the past where I think him and all of his siblings are named the same thing, you know, to kind of like all have one insurance card and shit like that. So, you know, their family dynamic is different. That's all I'm kind of bringing that to light for. Just to say that, you know, it's unorthodox to, like 90% of UFC fighters, right, their money isn't tied up with their mom and dad. For some reason, BJ's money's real tied up with his mom. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think his mom might have passed away. Or his dad might have passed away. So I think all of his money's tied up with his mom and his siblings or something, his brothers. He's not on good terms with any of them. You know, there's weird shit that BJ does, though, that makes me not believe him. Because he said shit like his brother's sons look like long neck, you know, and like that's like his sons are imposters and shit. So it's just a really deep thing. BJ has posted some videos recently of monkeys and trees in his backyard. It actually, if you look at these plants right here, this seems to be like the bushes BJ was filming. Go to his Instagram and look. You'll see. And then he's saying these are the thieves, and they're just like fucking animals jumping around in the tree. It's trippy. I didn't even post about it because it's so confusing. But that made me discredit BJ, you know, when I watched that. He's asking for help from Dana White. Initially, I mean, I think that's like a lost cause, in my humble opinion. I don't think Dana or Lorenzo are going to come. But it's kind of sad to see him like being along the lines of, I stayed extra, I never left early. You know what I mean? If we've done business in the past, it's sad to be hearing it right now. I don't know what he's exactly asking for. You know, I feel like DNA tests need to be done. Like, what's Dana supposed to do? Give him 50K? Get him back in the house? I think 50K is like the least of BJ's problems. I want to know how BJ has been getting arrested and then bailing out instantly on like a few K bond. I know you don't have to pay the full bond, so maybe he just pays a couple $100. I don't know how it works. But I'm just saying, like, if he's broke, that would mean something. So there's a lot of questions here. But that's kind of the situation with BJ right now. He needs Dana's help. Do I think he's going to get it? Not necessarily. I don't. You know, guys like Pat Tenore, my question would be, I know he's a wealthy guy, I know he's a business guy, but does he have liquid cash like that? I just don't know. My inclination would kind of suggest he doesn't really have enough liquid cash to really make a difference in BJ's life. You know? I'm talking like liquid, you know? Dana's the only one who walks around with like 50K cash. So, AIDS is over here. Let's see what AIDS has to say. Literally tried to harm his family. That's why they have him away from the house. See, AIDS, where do you get that from, man? Where do you get that from? I don't see where he tried to harm his family. I see that he's, you know what I mean? Calling them imposters. But I've never seen anything where he tried to harm his family. I'm JS. He's def got some. I'm just saying he's def got some symptoms of it, with thinking his mother and brother are replicated. I don't think he fully has it though. Yeah, 'cause I feel though he seems pretty level in this video. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? I've thought that he came off pretty delusional, like I just got done saying, at times. Then it comes back here and he's normal. So when he's not on the drugs, maybe he's, you know, decent. I don't know. I think they have some court dates coming up, so things might be getting resolved. I don't know. BJ always like draws attention. This is what else I'll say. BJ always draws attention to this stuff, making it seem really urgent, but everything's kind of getting strung along slowly. Things are in process, are in motion. They're just not super fast, and then you get BJ like a video out of nowhere, kind of like, come save me. So I don't know where he goes from here. Let me read some comments on Instagram. See if anyone else has anything to say. Yeah, so according to like the report, I think they with him causing a disturbance in the house, all I read was that I'm like 90% sure he didn't put hands on his mom. We'd have to really go back and look, but I read something along the lines that his mom was on vacation. She came home from vacation and he had stolen her mail. They live in the same house. So he had basically taken the mail and she was asking for it and he wasn't giving it to her. He was sitting out in a car with his homie who was filming that video of him laying in bed getting arrested. And then his mom came and confronted him, and then he has this bright flashlight that he shined in her face. Now the time frame of who flashed what before she yelled hit me, I don't know. But they got in a dispute over the mail, which led to her yelling hit me and him flashing a light in her face. Then he went inside the house, and apparently, you know, cops were called, and it was like a family disturbance. What up, Prime? What up, Prime? Prime, what you think about BJ right now? Did you watch the video? I just got done saying he seems clear-headed in the video, you know? But I'll be the first to admit, he's definitely came off delusional in the past. But doing laundry at the laundromat is crazy. Imagine showing up to your local laundromat and BJ Penn is in there doing his laundry. Yeah, it was a disturbance. Because even now he's saying like they want me to hit them. If you remember what I just read, you know, they want me to assault them, but I won't do it. So I don't think he's actually like assaulted her. I think it's like I think he really got caught up for that flashlight and shit. I think it was actually for harassment or something. We can look it up, you know. I could look it up, but there are some other pressing things that we can get into. Yeah, I don't think Dana's gonna help him either. If I'm just keeping it a buck, it's like what's Dana gonna do? You know, Dana's probably the last person who could help BJ, and that's the other weird thing I'll even say. You know, if there is a criticism to give to BJ, it's like even that's coming off a little bit clueless. Like the type of people you're asking to help you, like your old sponsors, what are you asking for? You don't got like a GoFundMe or anything. I don't know what you're trying to get out of it. Let me see. But if I were to let's look into the BJ Penn arrest just to be sure. Wow, so this was 3 days ago. Let's read this. John Jones or Dana would do that just to get a boost in his ratings. That's what he does. He slides that in just to get a few extra comments. That's my theory. He's just buying into the hype about that now. The second he bought into it and started trolling us back, I was done with Dana saying the whole John Jones is a goat. I doubt anyone will help him until anyone knows what's actually going on with him. Yeah, it would be lost, you know, bad money spent. So let's see what happened here. BJ Penn is taking charge. UFC Hall of Famer will represent himself in court on August 25th. Okay, mark your calendars, boys. We're 1 month out. Facing charges of assault and violating a restraining order. Arrested 4 times in May and June 2025 in Hilo, Hawaii. Penn distrusts lawyers and wants to handle his defense, mirroring his approach in the octagon. Interesting little play there. The judicial system, this is a quote from BJ. The judicial, let me get some, hang on. Oh my god. The judicial version of hands up, chin down is anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. But even with that said, and I know I don't want to make any mistakes, but honestly, almost every time I have got a lawyer, they either sold me out or they set me up and stole my money. If I go down making the decisions I wanted to. I've always lived my life that way. When the bell rings, I stand up and everyone else sits down, and I make the decisions that I wanted to make, not talked into something by somebody else or set up by someone in a disguise that I can't ever find later to ask him why the fuck did he do that, and then yelled at him or asked for my money back. It's a dirty game. Never let a lawyer make a business decision. Penn pleaded not guilty, requested jury trials, and has a public defender as standby counsel. So let's look at this arrested 4 times. You know what? I actually have. Give me a second. We're fretting over the details of this arrest. Give me 1 second. Okay, so BJ was arrested by several cops. Right, and then let's see, the following day. Okay, so Shin claims that Penn used extreme psychological abuse towards me for over the past several months, that I am not Lorraine Shin. I killed his family and have taken over his mother's identity, and he wants me to be removed from his home. This is a quote from a police report. In the request for the restraining order, Shin alleges that she returned home from a trip on May 11th and found all my belongings, such as my clothes, shoes, jewelry, personal items, and my bed removed from my bedroom. After Penn allegedly denied knowing where his mother's belongings were, Shin filed a theft report with police. A few days later, on May 16th, Shin claims my personal purse with my driver's license, credit card, and locks for my safe were stolen, and she made a separate theft report. Shin says Penn allegedly told her that all the items in the safe were his. Shin says she then installed a deadbolt lock on her bedroom door along the security cameras, both inside and outside the home. She claims Penn was caught taking down the cameras. He also put glue into my deadbolts that stopped me from opening my bedroom door. Shin says Penn denied taking her mail, but then later that night she found her son inside a friend's vehicle and claimed she saw her mail in the back seat. She claims Penn denied it was her mail, and that led to Shin contacting the police again. Shin claims that police allegedly shoved a... Shin claims that Penn allegedly shoved a bright flashlight into her face to prevent her from dialing the number for police on her cell phone. I tried turning in several directions, and he continued to blind me with his flashlight, Shin wrote. I then grabbed the flashlight and removed it from my face, and then he grabbed my arms and shoved me against the 4-door gray sedan, which I felt a sharp pain in my back. I then started to scream at the top of my voice for my son Reagan Penn to help me. The next morning, Shin claims she went upstairs when she heard a noise downstairs, and when she went to investigate, she noticed one of her sliding glass doors was open. Shin says she was walking towards the back entrance door to the house. She spotted Penn bolting from the rear stairs to exit the back door. She claims Penn jumped in the same car with his friend and left. Shin says she later heard Penn arguing with her son Reagan at his home when police were called again. She says she showed police the video of Penn entering and exiting her home in violation of the 48-hour period and was arrested. Okay, so, and here it is. I believe my son BJ is suffering from Capgras syndrome. He believes I'm an imposter who has killed his family to gain control of the family assets.
Give it, goddamn! You have to put that in my face. Hit me! Hit me! No, hit me! I'm moving. Reagan! Hit me! Why do you have that in my face? Give it, goddamn! You have to put that in my face. Hit me! Hit me! No, hit me! I'm moving. Reagan!
off, his mom's got like a weird accent. That ain't no pigeon accent. That almost sounded like not even Hawaiian at all. Um, you could post a link, AIDS. Um, Here's what BJ posted the video though. See, that's the thing, right? She explains how he pushed her up against the car, and then BJ posts the video, and obviously there's a light flashing, so we can't really tell if he pushed her up against the car. It looks like there was a slight little, scuffle here, but she also admits she moved the flashlight from in front of her face. So her moving his arm, shit like that. I don't know. If the video reflects her moving his arm or him shoving her against the car because the light is fucking flashing. But he writes, hit me, hit me, hit me. Is that an 80-year-old woman? This isn't the first time that imposter identity thief fake Lorraine Shin has tried to get me to assault her, and she has already walked around my house with a gun when I asked her about my finances and my family's finances. This lady knows nothing about business and is a murdering thief. The real Lorraine Shin makes this moron look parked. So, it's a very interesting situation. It's not even like, oh, BJ assaulted his mom, because I just read to you what the allegations are. And we can't even be sure of what happened in that altercation. But this is what she used to get a restraining order against him. He violated it. So they got all kinds of things. I mean, it's not looking good for him because he kept breaking the law. If he wants help, then he's probably like in the wrong. Who even says they need help if they're not in the wrong? Yeah. Well, in his defense, if someone's kind of fucking you over, scheming against you, you might be asking for help. But even if he gets help, I think he's beyond help at this point. To be honest with you. Like, you got to make it right with your family, I guess, and try to get back in the good graces. I don't think anybody's going to be able to magically, give you half of the shit. That's what a good lawyer would do. Not Dana White. You got to, fight for this shit in court. So she had a restraining order on him prior, before the mail incident, which is why he wasn't allowed in the house at the time, and he kept violating it. And she's claiming that he has Capgras syndrome as well, so I don't know. She's either right or lying to get him estranged, so she could take his money, so she could take any money he has. I don't know if I can post links here. Also, see, this is another thing where I think BJ might be delusional, is he's also said that his daughters aren't his anymore, and, his daughters have restraining orders against him. That doesn't look good for BJ. When your own daughters have restraining orders against you, and your mom and the mother of your kids has a restraining order against you, that's not looking good at all, to be honest with you. I'm willing to look past a lot of things. Your kids not fucking with you. You know what I mean? Those are usually probably the last ones to go. Your kids. Yeah, that's the other interesting part I would say is what's the deal here? They don't even want to help him. I guess they put him in a studio, but that's the weird dynamic. Why not share everything with BJ still? What has he done? Yeah, it's your son who's fucked up now in the head or something like that, but I guess it's just all of the constant saying his family's not real. Yeah, his oldest daughter or some shit. They probably would not want to talk to media. But is this all because this is my thing. His family, obviously he's saying his mom's not real. But at the same time, I feel like he's not just saying that out of nowhere. My theory this whole time, if you haven't heard it already, is that the family business, the family finances are not what they were when he was thriving. I have a theory that they have to downsize. In the past, he said that they already sold properties. And he didn't give the okay, so he was pissed. And so that's, I think, where he came in and he starts saying, hang on. And he started saying, you're not my mom, you're not my mom, you're not my mom. And they've been in a fight ever since that. Because to be honest with you, that's where it all started from. He said that his mom sold his properties and he, like, was filming her and shit like that. So if BJ's in denial that his family business isn't what it was and his mom is making executive decisions to kind of keep the finances afloat, and then BJ's turning around and being like, you're a thief, it's a really tough one. And obviously the mom would be in the right and BJ would be just being delusional. And I guess how much can she take? You know, everybody's got a limit. If this is all true, what I'm saying, everyone's got a limit. She can't just take that forever. Just this constant bickering and back and forth, stealing mail and shit like that at home, that's fucking annoying as shit. So, do I blame her for speaking up if she's been going through all this? If I'm going with the innocent narrative that she's keeping the family finances afloat by selling off properties and businesses, I think they might have had like a bowling alley or something like that they sold, and he wasn't happy about that. So if that's what she had to do and he's saying fuck you, then I would have to say BJ's in the wrong. Yeah, nobody's speaking about anything. That's crazy, right? His brother's not speaking out. His daughters aren't speaking out. Somebody should just give clarity and be like, hey, my dad's been like delusional for a while now. Like if his daughters came out and said it, I would kind of be like, nah, like then that would be like a fact we could go off of. You know, like BJ's delusional. His daughters don't believe him. That's like one of the most simple tests you could do. I did just want to even look at some comments, so let's do that. Feel bad for bro. What the hell? Wow, he needs help. It's not a bad spot though. I wouldn't complain. That's funny. In Hawaii too, bro's living, but he's really got problems with drugs and CTE. Feel for him, bro. He's at the laundromat. He can't be at the laundromat. The 2 division champ, one of the quickest black belts in history. He could not be doing his laundry at the laundromat. The house is under his mom's name, and they have a restraining order because he keeps trying to attack them. That's not true, as we've debunked on this episode here. That's a nice little spot. We all go down our That's a nice little spot. We all go do our own laundry. Get a lawyer if you think you're in the right. They'll tell you honestly if you actually have a case. They won't take it if you don't. I mean, that's a real ass comment right there. We all do our own laundry. There was a time in my life where, you know what I mean? That was a thing as well. CT ain't no joke. These UFC fighters will pull Chris Benoit's one day. Oof. Whoever is recording this is on some bullshit. I don't know how that would be. Somebody goes, seriously, he really got a homeboy who's just like, yeah, bro, I got you. How long till he goes Benoit is the real question, and we watching it happen live and saying, you know what, that's fucked up. That's fucked up, honestly. I'm not with that, bro. He's not looking violent at all, and you guys are kind of wishing that on him. Like I said, bro, look at it with the level head. My biggest thing is BJ's just tripping because he can't accept that his family finances aren't what they were. And I guess maybe he was just shelling out money to his family, so he doesn't know the value of a dollar in the terms of like how much they're bringing in and how much they're spending and how much their monthly finances are. And if that's the case, man, he's kind of low key retarded. You know, that's on you, man. If you just want to trust everybody with your money and be mindless with it, I don't feel bad for you. Someone goes, BJ, yo, respectfully, you could have just called him or someone within his circle. Why are you posting this? They ain't answering his calls with no phones, no way.